After the Taliban took control of Kabul in Afghanistan, there were all of these reports about how the Taliban, they're so different now. They're changed people, they're just like us. They even enjoy amusement parks. And so there were these videos going around featuring them, chilling, having a good time over at the Bhakti amusement park. And there we go, they're riding the bumper cars, they're having a good time. Again, just like us. They like to enjoy themselves. Except pretty soon after that, there were other videos surfacing the internet and they burnt it down. So here they are, it's the same amusement park and it is on fire.
And not in a good way.
Not in a good way, in a very bad way, because it turns out, no, they're not just like us. No, they're not enjoying the amusement park because remember, they're religious fundamentalists who think that horses on merry-go-rounds are false prophets that need to be burnt down.
Yeah, they were almost going to win the horse on the merry-go-rounds. It was so close between the prophets. Couple of things to this story. First of all, fundamentalists are always hypocrites, always. I want to ride the bumper cars, but I don't want you to ride the bumper cars. By the way, they were also on the merry-go-round. We don't have video of that, but reporters said that they were on those terribly, ungodly idols and statues of the horses and the dolphins or whatever else they had on that merry-go-round. You
can't straddle fun and religious fundamentalism. You just can't do it.
No, fun is in fundamentalism, but they're not living up to it. So, anyways, this reminded me of the 9/11 attackers. Some of them had gone to a strip club right before they did the bombing. Oh, Allah, because we're so pure and the rest of you are not, and we're going to win the purity contest by murdering all of you guys. But before we do that, we'd really like to see some naked breasts. And so they went and got liquored up and saw naked ladies. They did, because fundamentalists are always hypocrites, always, right? Whether they're Christian fundamentalists or Muslim fundamentalists or fundamentalists of any religion, right? And I'll be honest with you, I despise fundamentalists. And so, not just the hypocrisy of it, but
the brutality that it leads to?
Obviously the brutality, but another part of it that drives me crazy is just the complete lack of rationality. Like, oh no, God said that he's super jealous and he's just got one Muhammad and he doesn't want anybody else. He doesn't want anybody even drawing pictures of him, let alone anyone else. And if you have a horse or a doggy or something or a statue of something like that, I've got to murder the statue of the horse. I mean, what is that? And people believe it. Look, guys, we live in a scary world because huge percentage of Afghanistan believes that. Huge percentage of America believes insane things, like that the Democratic Party is run by child sex traffickers who drink brain juice and serve Satan. That's like 15% of this country, according to polling. So yeah, fundamentalists are nuts and they live among us. And what do? They cause nonstop damage because they can't think rationally. They're prone to violence, they're prone to extremes, and I despise the Taliban to my core. And by the way, this is this story about their hypocrisy that's about an amusement park, so it seems a little silly. But they're also murdering people in the streets. It's sad. I saw a video and look, I can't verify it, and we're gonna have a conversation about how to deal with it because we don't know from when it's from, but it is unquestionably real. And they see a woman not covering her face. By the way, she's got everything else. She's covered all head to toe, but the face. And they execute her in the streets, shoot her in the head.
And also, the other thing that comes to mind about the Taliban is the whole bachabazi thing. I don't know if you want to get into details about that, but it goes to like their hypocrisy.
Of course, but so Catholic fundamentalists, same thing. So bachabazi is okay. They get young boys, they dance for the older men, and then they have sex with the younger boys while telling you that being gay is terrible.
The boys. They rape.
Yeah,
the
of
boys.
course. How else, right? So it's not like they ask for their consent. They're the freaking Taliban, and they're fundamentalists, and they're sick, right? And what do the Catholic priests do? They raped little boys. So, and by the way, that's why ironically QAnon thinks, I guess the Democrats must be raping boys, because that's what our fundamentalists do all the time. Our religious leaders rape boys all the time, and so do the Taliban. Well, no, that's not how it's supposed to be. Theoretically, the religious people were supposed to be more holy, more moral. But when it comes to not every religious person, please don't make that mistake. There's wonderful religious people all across the world. Christians, Muslims, everyone else, okay? But when it comes to the fundamentalists, and especially fundamentalist leaders, they are the worst people on this planet. And never believe them. They're giant liars, and I guarantee you they're doing the absolute worst, most evil things behind the scenes. That's what they do every time.
You know, one of the things that I'm also trying to wrap my head around is, I understand wanting US troops to pull out of Afghanistan because as we know, US military intervention is not actually about helping people or nation building. It's about enriching military contractors, defense contractors. But I don't get the need to do positive PR for a group like the Taliban. And you look at the coverage from like Russian state media, and they make it seem like, no, this is a totally different group now. They're totally different. In fact, Stas Natanzone, she's an anchor over at Russian state TV. This is the argument. The situation in Kabul is better than it was under former president of Afghanistan, Ashraf Ghani. Turns out that it's better under terrorists than Ghani. The Taliban are very reasonable and well-armed people.
And that's a positive, apparently. And yeah, the Taliban look incredibly reasonable as they execute women in the streets for showing their face. And that's Russian propaganda 101 right there for you. By the way, there's Russian propaganda here claiming that the dictator, the brutal dictator Assad in Syria is, he won an election with 95% of the vote. The Syrian people in the middle of a civil war love him so much that he won more than anyone has ever won in a democracy. And there are morons pretending to be journalists here in America who go, yeah, that dictator is awesome. He's wonderful. He won. The people love him. He won with 95%. They went to certify or to monitor those elections. And they conveniently enough go on Russian television all the time and won't reveal the source of their funding. So there's propaganda everywhere. And what does it support? It supports whatever dictator Russia wants to support. They want to support the Taliban, all of a sudden they're reasonable people. They want to support the murderous tyrant Assad, all of a sudden you got morons, useful idiots here at best case scenario.
No, reward-winning journalist, Cenk. Don't be a McCarthyite smearer.
95%, it could have happened. No, it couldn't have happened. If you think a dictator won an election with 95% of the vote, you are the dumbest person alive, the single dumbest person. And of course, deeply dishonest, because no one could be that dumb. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.